Since several decades past, lives and properties on Victoria Island, Lagos were under constant threat whenever the restless Atlantic Ocean overflowed its shoreline at the popular bar beach along Ahmadu Bello Way. Whenever there was a surge, roads and streets adjoining the beach were inundated with floods. Roads mostly affected by the surge were Bishop Oluwole Street, Ahmadu Bello Way, and Kashumwe Kemo Street, all on Victoria Island. In some cases, raging waters from the Atlantic Ocean caused unprecedented flood over the entire Ahmadu Bello Way, forcing residents and commercial offices to vacate their premises.
Each time we had ocean surge, then the water used to get to Aboyadeko, NTA, the entire day took more Demola some time. And I'm sure you know about the IMB building, the back international IMB building, that glass house there. I don't know whether you still remember. Water used to get to that place, but I mean, it will get to your knee level, and it at some point it became a major challenge.
Residents and occupants of offices along the Bar Beach area of highbrow Victoria Island district were constantly on edge whenever high waves crashed on the shore, washing away the protective sand field and drowning the adjoining dual carriageway. At a particular occasion, the situation was so severe that the Lagos State Police Command had to temporarily close the road to human and vehicular movement due to threat by heavy flood.
The Atlantic was overrunning its bank and was really a trauma to the residents. It will overflow, it will come in, it will run into premises, it will flood homes. That was not a pleasant experience. And the projection was that it was going to get worse. So the approach of government, federal government at that time, was to pump sand to push back the Atlantic and trust nature in no time. In a matter of when they pump something like millions of cubic sand to push back the Atlantic, it took the Atlantic something like 2 months, 6 months. It will wash the entire, and then we're back to the same problem.
The past administrations in the state had spent $250 million, that's 37.5 billion naira, on the Bar Beach between 1950 and late 1990s without solving the perennial ocean surge. This is according to Mr. Adeshegun Oniru, a past commissioner for waterfront infrastructure development.
Because of the distance, you know, the nautical miles. So federal government used to say that the entire beach belongs to them, it's under their purview. So we will have to see the Ministry of Works, we come and pour sand. And that time it was a regular thing. Maybe they allocated like 4 billion naira to the pouring of sand on the oceans, you know, which was more like a palliative. It was not a sustainable model. And every year we'll have a surge.
Federal government will pump in money, billions of naira, to ensure that they combat the erosion of Lagos Bar Beach every 2 years. Even at that, the money was not even showing. It was just a waste of expenditure. Because after a while, the erosion will come and roll away the sand back to the ocean. And the whole area will be flooded. And when the flood starts, it goes beyond NTA and IMB. So no vehicle will be able to ply the road.
In 2005, the entire Victoria Island in Lagos was in imminent danger of being overwhelmed by ocean surge from the Atlantic Ocean. The coastal road, Ahmed Bello Way, had collapsed into the ocean after the adjacent bar beach had been completely eroded. Adjacent businesses and homes were abandoned. Lives and livelihoods of residents on Victoria Island were endangered. It became all too clear that if action was not taken soon, millions of square meters of developed land would be lost to the ocean. Victoria Island, which is seen as the key financial center in Lagos, was under severe threat. With Victoria Island being one of the central business districts in Lagos, the state was in danger of not only losing valuable land used by millions of people daily, but also the revenue from this bustling district. And that portended a catastrophic effect on the economy of Lagos.
The struggle then was to get the federal government to do something better than pump sand each time the Atlantic was a problem. As it turned out, that was the farthest they could do. We were pushing, and all they were saying is that they were going to address the subject.
It was estimated, using market rental rates at the time, that roughly 460 billion naira in yearly rental revenue would have been lost had Victoria Island been submerged by coastal erosion. This figure does not account for the losses to businesses and residents of Victoria Island. If the onslaught of the ocean surges on Victoria Island had been allowed to continue, Victoria Island would have fallen into the Atlantic Ocean. Without the protection of Victoria Island, other densely populated areas of Lagos, including Ikoyi, Lagos Island, and all other communities along the Lagos Lagoon, would now be bearing the brunt of the relentless ocean surge. Something had to be done. But who dares to tame the surging sea? Who will tame the Atlantic? Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the then governor of Lagos State, could not bear to watch his people suffer. He wanted a solution. Tinubu was not just interested in temporary solution like past governments. He was in search of long-lasting solution. He was aware of the billions of dollars sunk into the surge in pursuit of different solutions without any tangible result. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is known to always seek out the best brain. He will spare nothing in seeking for solutions, no matter how daunting the problem. His mantra:
I assembled the best brain that I know of, and corporate governance is essentially a great element in public sector management and governance too.
We all knew that the pouring of sand was not effective. So the Lagos State government, under the leadership of Asiwaju, had technical meetings with the Shaguri group on how we can reduce this ocean surge, how we can reduce the negativity that the ocean surge brought to the economy and to the environment as a whole.
South Energix Nigeria Limited, the city planners and designers of Eko Atlantic City, worked with marine engineers Royal Haskoning to create Eko Atlantic City and submitted the project to the Lagos State government for consideration as a solution that could solve the problem of coastal erosion at no financial cost to the government. The solution was bold, audacious, and not for the faint-hearted. Bola Tinubu was not afraid to take this bold a step that will forever tame the erosion and give birth to the Atlantic City, or a project that would convert the liability to an asset that would benefit Lagos State and the Nigerian people at large.
I invite you to celebrate with us. Permanent solution to the baggage that was a terrifying horror to negotiation. We are going to celebrate it tonight. Today to the glory of God Almighty.
The sustainable solution created called for reclaiming the land that had been lost to 100 years of coastal erosion and erecting a sea revetment to protect Victoria Island permanently from the onslaught of the Atlantic Ocean. The design and testing of a sea wall which could stand the worst storms in 1,000 years was tested to its limits in Copenhagen at the Danish Hydraulic Institute. In 2003, the idea of a modern city on the Atlantic coast was publicly discussed. It will be sited on what used to be Bar Beach, out of the reclaimed land. It will be called Eco-Atlantic City, a residential and business district standing on 10 million square meters of land reclaimed from the ocean and protected by an 8.5-kilometer long sea wall.
The fact is that today, a liability that threatens the entire Victoria Island of Lagos has been arrested and is being converted to a great asset of prosperity.
Standing on 10 million square meters of land reclaimed from the ocean and protected by an 8.5 kilometers long seawall, Eco-Atlantic is projected to be the size of Manhattan's skyscraper district. Self-sufficient and sustainable, it includes state-of-the-art urban design with its own power generation, clean water, advanced telecommunications, spacious roads, and tree-lined streets.
When you go to Eco-Atlantic today, you will marvel. Eco-Atlantic is a city on its own. It's a beautiful place that everybody wants to be part of that city. Eco-Atlantic has now become a place for everybody that, okay, we want to be part or want to live in Eco-Atlantic. It is when you go there that you will know what we are talking about. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man to reckon with.
Imagine what was a major environmental challenge for the city of Lagos now becoming a high-valued real estate city. Just take your mind back to what that place was years back before the Eco-Atlantic City came on board, to what it is now and what it will be in future. It's a future city. Whatever you may want to think of in terms of development that we have in other advanced economies, you have that in Eco-Atlantic City.
Another hallmark of Tinubu's administration was foresight. Knowing fully well that this gigantic project requires time, he ensured he had all in place for his successors to adequately continue the project and each phase completed. Though out of office, Eco-Atlantic stands tall for all to see.
I am part of an administration that ran for 8 years, that planned this project. So I was persuaded not only by his merits, but also his benefits. And seamlessly, I have taken it on as my own baby to deliver it.
Today, the Lagos Atlantic City is the pride of every Lagosian and every Nigerian. It has become the location of choice for embassies and top-line global businesses. The first new city to be developed in Nigeria since Abuja was occupied in 1991. It is the stuff of legend.
Some experts are saying that, but for this effort, we probably may not be having Victoria Land the way it is now. Of course, there have been challenges But we are happy that the engineers, the contractors, all involved there are standing to ensure that whatever problems arose, they can make effort to mitigate the ill effects, so to say.
Not done with the Lagos beach, Tinubu on his campaign trail has promised similar treatment for the communities being threatened by the Atlantic across the nation's shoreline.
I am an expert. I know the road. I took on Lagos. I clean it up, develop it, face the Atlantic, and conquer the Atlantic for Lagos State. I promise you, your house, your papa house, your mother house, your grandparents' house will no longer be washed away by the flood.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be described as visionary leader, a political pathfinder, nationalist, courageous, reliable, dependable, passionate, and detribalized Nigerian who has contributed to the social, political, and economic growth of Lagos State and Nigeria. As pathfinder, Asiwaju charted the developmental trajectory of modern Lagos, raising the bar of governance and public service in the state and indeed Nigeria. The former governor left with impeccable records in Lagos State after setting the right template for economic growth and political stability. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the man who tamed the Atlantic, is poised to rescue Nigeria's economic shoreline from the raging winds of global depression and insecurity. He has done it before. He will do it again.